everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 and see how this particular Samsung Galaxy Tab holds up in 2025. Now, there's a couple of things to keep in mind here within this particular tablet, right? Number one, this isn't that old of a tablet anymore. It still has like some pretty good life left in it for the most part. It still is like a really nice looking tablet too, but I will tell you there might be some better options out there, for the most part. And we'll take a look at it throughout this whole entire video. First things first though, if you do want to go and pick up this tablet and or some other tabs that I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of these particular tablets. With the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, we really have to remember that these particular tablets are very, very interesting. Samsung really does kind of go through and throw in like a bunch of different capabilities and different things inside of these tablets for the most part, which is always a very nice thing to have, right? Whenever we're going through and taking advantage of any of these types of tablets, it's always nice to have that type of capability here. Now, within these types of tablets on the front side, you're basically getting an 11-inch dynamic AMOLED display. So these types of like tablet displays already look pretty good for the most part. I think they look pretty awesome. There's not really too much to hate on here for the most part. And I do think that right there is also like a very big thing to kind of keep in mind there as well. So if you're going to go through and like pick up a tablet, you're probably going to be able to get like a really decent display. It's a massive dynamic AMOLED display. It's also 11 inches and it's 120 Hertz as well. So that stuff already kind of screams to me that it is kind of a better type of experience right there. So again, maybe it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is a really nice looking tablet when it comes down to it from that side. So definitely I would say, and I would argue from that particular situation, that is probably a better type of experience you'd probably end up, experiencing there rather than from something like a Samsung Galaxy, Tab S6 or something like that. Now on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is that with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, you're still getting that USB-C port and a microSD card slot inside of this type of device as well. So that right there is a very, very good thing to have inside of a device like this as well, because you're still going to be able to go through and get a lot of capability, and you're still going to be able to get really good I/O. And the fact that this thing does have a microSD card slot inside of it is actually super legendary, and I do think that right there is such a cool thing to have inside of a device as well. So I would probably tell you that in and of itself is such a cool thing, and I'm a massive fan of that when it comes down to it. On the backside, you're just getting your standard, back. It's aluminum. You do get the little S Pen slot on the side too, so that right there is also like a nice thing to basically have there. If you are about to go through and like pick up a device, that right there does kind of give you a little bit of, I would say, a better impression sometimes. That way you can get some better capability in some cases from that particular side as well. So I would probably tell you from that particular situation, that is kind of a nice thing. Overall though, when you take a look at the outside, I do think this is one of those types of devices that you can look at and basically buy and still get like a pretty good time with it. Again, maybe it's not like the most perfect device of all time, but I would tell you that this is still a really good option, right? This is like a really good type of device, and if you're planning on going through and buying a sort of device here, I do think this is a pretty good option. Again, maybe it's not perfect, but it definitely gets the job done for the most part. So I would probably tell you from that particular situation, this is like a pretty good type of tablet in that particular side. Now, I will also tell you when it kind of comes down to some other areas of these devices, you have to remember that with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, this price tag of this particular, tablet, it's still going to be pretty good. It's not going to be super expensive. It's going to be costing you, it's going to be like a couple $100 cheaper than what it was in the brand new market. And I would probably tell you from that side, that is a really nice thing to basically have here. If you are about to go through and like pick up a particular tablet, this is kind of a nice thing going on. So I would probably tell you from that side in and of itself, that is a pretty cool thing going on here for this particular tablet. But beyond that, like I mentioned before, I do think kind of going through and maybe buying some other types of tablets, there might be some better options out there, for the most part. When it comes down to the camera, this particular tablet is still going to be giving you like a pretty decent camera for like this type of tablet. It's giving you a single 13 megapixel camera on the backside. And on the front side, it's still giving you like a decent type of experience for the most part. Like it's not really that terrible, but it's not really going to be like an insanely great type of tablet either for the most part. It's going to be giving you 4K at 30 on the back and 4K at 30 on the front. So that right there could be like another one of those types of tablet experiences you could have here. Again, it's not really going to be like the greatest type of experience of all time, but I'm sure some of you, most of you will probably be able to use this tablet on an everyday basis and not really complain too much about the cameras, right? I think that's kind of what ends up happening here. But I would probably tell you for the most part, if you are about to go through and pick up a different type of device, there might be some better options out there for the most part as well. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there too. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to software longevity, this is another one of those things here as well. So from software support, I'll probably tell you that if you are about to go through and like pick up a device, this thing is still giving you Android 13. It's all the way upgradable. It's getting 4 major versions of Android. So it's going to be lasting for quite some time, which is always really nice to have. But I would probably tell you that if you are about to go through and like pick up some sort of a tablet, this thing is probably going to be giving you somewhat of like a limited type of experience in some particular cases. Again, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but if you are looking for like a tablet that's going to be giving you a better type of experience, I do think there's probably some better options out there for the most part. Now, what I basically mean by that is like, if you're going to go through and like pick up a tablet, right, this thing, the software updates, I mean, it's already about 2 years old now. There might be some better options out there. And, you know, that is probably what will end up happening here is like, you know, buying a tablet that's going to be giving you a little bit of a better experience. But even at that level, it's not the biggest deal in the world. And this thing still is giving you like a pretty good type of experience when it comes down to it from that side. So from that particular situation too, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to its performance, this particular tablet is still going through and it's still giving you like a decent type of experience. I mean, this thing is giving you that, you know, Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset inside with 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM. This thing is going to be giving you a very solid type of experience when it comes down to that, you know, performance perspective. And I do think that right there is a really nice thing to basically have here. You're going to be able to go through and pick up a device that's going to be giving you like a very good type of experience here when it comes down to the performance sector. And I do think this in and of itself, it is a very nice thing to basically have here. So I would probably tell you and argue with you, if you are about to go through and like pick up a tablet, this performance here is still going to be pretty top tier. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but this thing is still going to be giving you a really good option there. And I do think that is in and of itself a really cool thing going on for this particular tablet. When compared to some of the other options like a Galaxy Tab S10 or something like that, those ones will be giving you better experiences and just better performance overall. But I would still tell you with the Tab S9, this is a really good option and I'm still a really big fan of this particular tablet when it comes down to it from that side. So to kind of sum up this whole entire video, what I definitely will tell you is that in my personal opinion, I'm definitely still a big fan of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9. I think this is one of those types of tablets that I can look at and still highly recommend to people for sure. Like, this is a very good tablet. The only ones I would recommend more so than this are like the Galaxy Tab S10 and or like an iPad Pro. Those are like this year or last year. Those are the only ones I'd really recommend more so than this thing. I think with a tablet like this, you're still getting like a really good option and a really good tablet for the most part. But I do think there might be some better options out there. And, you know, those ones that I mentioned might be the better ones for the most part. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.